She's not what you'd expect. She's tough and feisty, but gentle and tender. She makes millions and gives millions to the poor. She cries, she laughs, she teaches, she comforts. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. Hope you're having an awesome day, and I hope you're making it on purpose and that you're choosing joy. Because some days we just have to choose that. And other days we have to improvise in imperfection. Something I learned several years ago as I'm at a grocery store in a foreign country, and I've got my list because I'm that meal planning mom. And I've got my list, and I'm going to make sure I keep within the budget. And I show up to the grocery store, and half of the things that are on my list do not exist in the store. Not to mention the potatoes had ants crawling on them. The onions were molded and had flies all over them. I just couldn't quite make what I was planning to make when I saw the contents that were inside of that grocery store. So this little saying kind of came into my spirit, and it was improvise and imperfection. And when something doesn't quite go the way that you were planning, that's when you got to improvise and imperfection. And guess what comes out of it? Brand new recipes. Well, what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about a lottery mentality that has completely plagued us as a people. You might think that you don't have that mentality, but I challenge you today to look at the reality of some of the things that you have bought throughout your life. I'm not talking about physical things. Well, kind of physical things, but I'm not talking about, you bought a blouse or you bought a new suit. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the concepts, the principles, the mindsets in which you have bought that have been sold to us from some people in very high places. Other people have been very deceptive in places that we would hope and maybe even have trusted that we could count on integrity coming from the lips of that politician or that pastor or that counselor or that friend. There's many things that you and I have encountered where people maybe have had their own hidden agenda, and, well, we got used almost like a pawn on a chessboard. Well, about a year ago, you might remember a show that we had done about lottery tickets and about this article that I had come across from Time magazine. I want to readdress it because it's something that is important for us to make sure that we are aware of. It's part of a mindset that has infiltrated our lives. It has infiltrated our marriages, our life as a parent, our money, our business and careers, even our health. This lottery mentality has infiltrated every area of our life, kind of like an ant who brings his whole army with him to come in and ugh. I don't know how you feel about ants. There's some great things we can learn from ants, but ants on the kitchen counter is just not cool. On the bathroom counter, it's just not cool, and especially fire ants all over Texas and throughout the Caribbean. I hate those suckers with a passion. But let's get back to this Time magazine article. It came out about a year ago, and it was talking about how in Minnesota was following. Actually, the state of Missouri was going to follow Minnesota's footsteps in starting to sell lottery tickets at the electronic pumps at the gas station, because they were saying that people were too busy to actually come in to the gas station store area, and so they wanted to make the lottery ticket easy and accessible, where it would only take 10 to 15 seconds for somebody to be able to buy that lottery ticket. Now, here's what was interesting about that. Who are they really thinking of? Are they really thinking of you? Are they really thinking of you and your family? Or are they just like, oh gosh, we want to help our citizens right here in Missouri, and we're going to do what Minnesota did, because that lottery has helped so many people. Yeah, and we want to make it more convenient for them? No. No. They were thinking of themselves, and they probably noticed that there has been a decrease in lottery sales by having those electronic pumps where people are just using their ATM card to get their gas and get the heck out of the gas station. So if the lottery ticket wasn't bringing them in to buy that lottery ticket, as well as let's get the soda and the candy bar and the big bag of chips, and don't forget that plastic hot dog that we're going to buy also, they figured, well, gosh, we're losing sales because people aren't coming in, so let's make that sale available right here at the pump. Let's make it convenient. Well, see, a lottery is something we've been sold as a way to maybe we're going to get lucky. It might bring us to our retirement. We might be able to go on that great vacation. We might get rich. But the fact is, it's a fallacy. And the best success book ever written for business, for finance, for marriage, for parenting, for your health, for your life of joy and enjoying yourself, as well as solving really big problems that you run into in your life, that best success book says this: he who chases fantasies has poverty waiting for him. I'll never forget the first time I encountered that one. I was doing a quick study about money, and I was looking up the word poverty, and it brought that passage up. And I remember marinating on that. He who chases fantasies. Let me change that. She or he who chases fantasies has poverty waiting for him. Think about the millions of people that buy lottery tickets. Think about the percentage who actually wins the lottery. It's not 0.0001%. It's ridiculous, right? So people who are buying those lottery tickets every day are hoping to win, hoping to beat the odds. But poverty is the only thing waiting for them. And out of those that actually win, think about this, my friend. Out of those that actually win, well, those usually end up broke. The statistics are high. They say that within 5 to 7 years after somebody has won the lottery, they are right back at the financial position they were in before they won it. Which means that winning the lottery is not necessarily a good thing. And I know we've all heard the statistics, yet there you are at the gas pump using your credit card to buy a lottery ticket. Well, Dani, get off my back. So what? I have a little fun. I play with the lottery. Who cares? It's not that big of a deal. Well, it is a big of a deal because it actually isn't just a financial issue. It's a mindset. It's a poverty mindset. It's a mindset that causes us to make other decisions. Let me show you what the mindset looks like in marriage. The mindset is, hopefully I will marry the right person. That's a lottery. Oh, Lord, have mercy. It's a lottery. Yeah, and what happens if you don't? Well, then you divorce and then you marry somebody else? That was my mindset. It was. You know, I got married when I was 21 to a guy I only knew for 7 days. In the back of my mind was, if this doesn't work out, I'll just get married again. Well, if this doesn't work out, I'll just get married again. I just knew that it wasn't going to be until death do us part, really. And sadly to say, that was my mindset the second time too. It was. Thank God he intervened. And he confronted me with my lottery mentality. Because I remember the day, September 3rd, 1993, that I exchanged vows with my current husband. And that day, I'm telling you, in the back of my mind, when those vows were coming out of my mouth, I literally knew that I would end up divorced again. I knew that. I knew it was part of being married, was being divorced. That was already embedded into my very psyche. And again, if my God had not intervened a year later, I know I would have been divorced, no question. There's absolutely no question. You see, succeeding in marriage, just like succeeding in business and with your health, with your life in general, is not a lottery ticket. It's not about luck. It is not about hope. It's about proper steps, principles, walking toward it, learning what you have to, gaining new skills, persisting during the hard, nasty, sick, and disgusting times when you want to quit. You got to persist. That's what it takes to succeed in anything. What brings failure? Hoping to get lucky. What costs a lot? Yeah. What costs a lot is divorce. What costs a lot is the lottery mentality of buying those lottery tickets, hoping to get lucky, instead of investing the same amount of money into a proper investment that actually could take care of you later on in life, or that actually could take you on that long-awaited vacation. So what areas, what other mindsets would you say are in our culture today that is of a lottery mentality? Do you find that the lottery mentality is in your marriage or was? What about with your parenting? What about with God? What about the lottery God that is being preached over all of the prosperity teachers that are out there? Bless their hearts. They're doing their best. They feel what they're teaching is right. And I would say that because they're drawing it from the Bible, a portion of what they're saying is right. I don't know. I can't judge every word that's coming out of somebody's mouth because I'm not hearing it. Only God would be the one to judge that. But a lot of the prosperity message that we hear is just write a check to my ministry for $2,000 and God will cancel your debt. I have been in church services where I have heard those words and I have seen people buy it. Just write a check for $2,000 and God is going to bring you your miracle today. Hallelujah. Oh. Well, it's easy to fool somebody who hasn't read the Bible cover to cover. It's really easy to fool somebody that has a poverty spirit. It's really easy to sell a lottery. Come on, look at it. There's no guarantee, but give me money anyway. There's no guarantee that you're going to do well, but give me your money anyway. Nice. Well, that's what we're talking about today. So what areas would you say that you have bought the lottery ticket? Did you buy the lottery for marriage? Did you buy the lottery for having kids and raising them, like give birth and hope for the best? Did you buy the lottery for the job, the dream job? What about the dream business? Did you buy the lottery for the health program that was going to take care of everything? What about that weight loss program? All you have to do is swallow this pill and everything's going to shrink and you're going to look like you're 21 again. 844-200-3264. Again, that's 844-200-3264. Call me. Let's talk. We're going to laugh today about the things that we have bought. And then how did we get off that track and get on true success path instead of having poverty waiting for us. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more after this.
Stay tuned for helpful advice on life and more on The Dani Johnson Show.
For families in Santa Pancha, Nicaragua, life is filled with fear and struggle. They don't have enough food for their kids, clean water is hard to find, and they're living in a decrepit, unsafe hovel on top of mining tunnels that could explode and sink at any moment. But a miracle is in the making, and you can be a part of transforming this village. Go to kingsransom.org and click on Santa Pancha to see how you can help. That's kingsransom.org, kingsransom.org, and click on Santa Pancha. The whole story of how I went from homeless to millions is right here in this book, First Steps to Wealth. I'd love to give you a free copy of this book. Just dial 888-757-8880. You can get your free copy of this book. It's like a real book, my friend. You can get an ebook copy for free right now, or if you'd like to pay the shipping to get this $15 book to your house, I'd be happy to send it to you. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of First Steps to Wealth today and begin on a brand new path of some great success.
Giving you the playbook to design your life. This is The Dani Johnson Show. And now, here's Dani.
We have been infiltrated, my friend. We have. By a great evil. An evil that desires for us to be weak, even to fail. Oh, we've been preyed upon. We've been played like the fiddle. We've been a people that have succumbed to games, rituals. They've been passed down from one generation to the next. Oh, I know right now you're thinking, Dani, you're being way too dramatic. What are you talking about? We've been sold lies, lotteries. We've been sold, go to college, get a good education, then you'll make more money. Oh, We've been sold, you got to make sure and marry the right person, and then everything will be glorious. that somehow if we buy this little ticket at the gas pump, then our financial worries are gone. Ha ha! What a lie. Anything that we want to succeed in, my friend, it's going to take work. So what's the biggest lie you've ever bought into? What price did you pay and how did you fix it? 844-200-3264 is my number. Again, that's 844-200-3264. We've got Cindy from Mesquite, Texas. Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. Come on, girl, tell me, what lie did you buy?
Well, it turned out to not be a lie about how wonderful being a mother is.
Talk to me about that.
I was 23 years old, had to have a hysterectomy. Thought my dream had just gone up in smoke. You know, I just was devastated.
Wow.
So then I made up my mind that wasn't going to stop me, that I was going to become a mom anyway. I had T-shirts printed. On the front, it said, "Wanted newborn baby," and on the back, it said, "To adopt and love forever." And I wore those T-shirts everywhere. I mean, everywhere. And long story short, wound up adopting a child via my T-shirt. And it has been the most awesome experience. And it was so wonderful that we wound up adopting a second child.
Wow.
Those children are now 20 and 26.
Wow.
And I have to say that being a mom has been the most joyful, wonderful blessing that there ever was.
Wow. Okay, but hold on a second. There was a lie that was fished off to you. You see, being a mom is a wonderful, joyful thing. Being a mom requires a crazy amount of commitment, patience, endurance, persistence, tenacity, thinking on the fly, problem solving, 24/7 almost. That all is work. And work will result, when we give it our best with excellence and diligence, will result in being a dream come true. But the lie that you could have bought that many women do buy when you had that health problem at 23 and had to have a hysterectomy.
Correct.
The lie was
I could've
fished
just
to you.
given up.
Exactly. The lie was fished to you that said it's over, it's done.
Hard-headed.
Exactly. And I love that the true mother in you did not buy that lie. You made
No, I did not.
T-shirts. You made a T-shirt. That's so
And this is
creative.
back a long time ago. That wasn't even done.
Well, yeah, it was 26 years ago. What are you talking about, honey? This is 1988 is when you did this. That was 1988. So,
It was.
yeah, I know, because I have a daughter that was born in 87. She's 27. So I'm not that good in math, but I could figure that one out. Anyway, so Cindy, there was a lie fished to you, but you rebuked the lie, and you chose to continue to dream. And look at you, to hear you talk about how being a mom, that you adopted 2 kids, and being a mom is the most rewarding thing that you've ever experienced. What makes what makes the title of mother being rewarding is the work, the effort, the love, the persistence, making it through the hard times, making it through the times where they mouthed off at you, making it through the times where they went in directions you didn't want them to go in, making it through the times where you felt like a failure and wondered if you were a good mom or not. We've all gone through that. And at the end of the day, as long as we persist, love, be patient, and endure to the end, we get to enjoy the wonderful, beautiful journey of saying what you've just said. Being a mom is the most amazing experience of your life. And I would have to agree with you.
It really is.
It really, really is. And it is also the hardest thing you and I have ever done and will ever do. by
I
far.
hope that whoever is out there that needs to adopt a child doesn't give up.
Yep. But make a T-shirt.
That's right. Make a T-shirt.
Make a T-shirt. Look at that, man. That's incredible. I think that's a God idea, to be quite honest with you. Thank you so much for sharing. My gosh, I know someone got inspired today not to live a lie, not to believe the lie, but work towards what you want to do and who you want to be. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
What you see is what you get. What you hear is real. This is not a test. It's real life and how to deal with what comes at you every day.
Yeah.
This is the Dani Johnson Show.
This is your chance. This is your shot. Get your copy of War on Debt right now. There's one waiting for you that has your family's name on it. And inside that package is freedom. Your family's freedom is on the inside of that package. All you have to do is open it up, press play, and start applying what I teach you in this program. 888-757-8880. You and I are going to help your family become completely debt-free in the next 5 to 7 years. Just imagine how that's going to feel.
No excuses, just results. And now, back to more of the Dani Johnson Show.
You know, you and I are fed lies every single day, whether you wanted to admit it or not. Hey, check this one out. Buy a lottery ticket. It's the answer to all of your retirement problems. Oh my gosh. So-and-so got lucky. Mm-hmm. You know, Jay Leno, this is absolutely hilarious. I don't watch Jay Leno or anything like that. I don't watch TV, period. It's kind of funny. We have a radio and television show, and I don't watch it. But Jay Leno said this. He said, here's something to think about. How come you never see a headline like, psychic wins the lottery? That is so funny, because he who chases fantasies has poverty waiting for him. No, psychics don't win the lottery. Why? Hello, the odds are totally against us. And the same lottery mentality that says that I hope to get lucky and have good children, then I'll be a happy mom. No, man, if you want to be happy at anything, it's going to take work, blood, sweat, tears, disappointment, crying your eyes out, wanting to quit. That's all a part of happiness. I know, isn't that funny? It is. It's a part of happiness. Is the disappointment and the pain, the struggle, the suffering. That's what makes something rewarding and worth it, not winning something for nothing. Come on, pull your head out of the lottery mentality. Sorry. I wished I would have paused a little longer on that one for sure. Okay, what lottery mentality have you bought into? I'm not just talking about the lottery ticket. Your health, the marriage. What lie have you bought? How did it turn out, and how did you fix it to get yourself where you want to be? Okay, we've got Kelly from New Jersey. Kelly, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Hey, Dani. I bought into the fantasy that my husband is supposed to be my number one supporter, but he's not. He hasn't been very supportive in my ventures for, new business, and I don't know what to do about that.
Yeah. Kelly, how long have you been married?
14 years.
Yeah. Now, has he always not been your big supporter?
It depends on the topic.
Yeah, of course.
Usually business ventures aren't a good topic.
Okay. Well, I can go in one of two different directions of this. I think I'm going to go in both. So I want you to follow me here for a second.
Okay.
There's been things in my life and in our marriage where Hans and I have been supportive of each other, and things that we have not been supportive of each other. And here's what I've learned in the non-support stage of that we've gone throughout our marriage, right? It's been 23 years that we've been married together, sleeping together, which biblically means that's married. But anyway, so here's where I've had to come to. Sometimes us wives and the husbands to their wives, we can put all of our hope, all of our encouragement, and all of our dreams into the other person. In my case, with my husband. And if my husband did not believe or love, for example, the orphan as much as I love the orphan, or love to help people the way I love to help people, but he has a love or a desire or a focus of other things that are not important to me, then I would feel unsupported. And what I got convicted on with that thing was, whoa, hold on a second. He is not my God. He is not my God. He's my husband. And if we were to agree on all things all the time, well, we would be the same individual. But we're not. We're two totally separate people. Number one, he's a man. I'm a woman. There's a whole lot of things that we see very different. I'm a mother of his children. He is a father of my children. We have very different points of view, very different interests. And we have found as we've gotten older and we've walked through different seasons in life, we have a totally different perspective On it, for example, when our daughter got married, my husband had a nervous breakdown. Why? He regretted that he worked as much as he did. I was excited for her, but I also only worked 20 hours a week. My kids were a high priority to me, and I wouldn't let work get in the way. And so he had a different time when Erica got married than I did. To me, it was like, oh my gosh, yay, so much joy. For him, he's like, oh God, this is awful. We went through the same experience, had different points of view. Why? He's a man. He had a daughter. He felt like he was displaced when Erica got married. I felt like I gained a son when she got married. Do you know what I'm saying? So the issue is quit expecting your husband to see things the way you see them. Your husband has his own mind, his own heart, his own emotions, his own past, his own troubles that he's dealing with all the time. He is not going to be as excited about things that you are excited about. So let him be free to not fully agree or be 100% behind you in all things concerning Kelly. But let him be free. Here's the other thing. I have found that when I've been unsupportive, I've reaped what I've sown. Sucks. Kelly, look in the mirror. There was a time when my husband was building an ISP. Do you even remember what those are? They're an internet service provider. And she's like, no. Okay. Internet service provider. So he was going to try to compete with AOL, right? He had zero computer experience. He was self-taught. He was a hacker who was led by my cousin who was a hacker, okay? And I was the wife that was like, the internet, ew, taboo, it's evil. Because I was an idiot, okay? So I was totally 100% unsupportive of his new business idea. I'm looking at, okay, you're making $5 per user, and you don't even know how to solve the problems that have to do with the internet. And where is the internet anyway? I was awful, Kelly. I was awful. I would put down on his idea. I would tell him that no matter, I would add up the numbers. Well, how many customers did you get today? How many customers did you get next month? How many customers did you get last month? How many customers did you lose? Hello, it's $5 a user. Do you have any idea how many customers you have to get to make $5,000 a month? I was terrible, Kelly. And guess what happened? Two things. I eventually had to eat my words, honey. Because what God had done is he planted a God idea in my husband. The ISP failed. But the years that he spent in learning how to build it, he gained an internet education that eventually made him tens of millions of dollars on the internet. And he will for the rest of his life make money on the internet. I had to eat my words. You see, God planted something in him, but I didn't recognize that it was God. I thought it was Hans. And I thought it was stupid. But that has come back to bite me in the butt several times because I reap what I sow. So, those are the two things I wanted to tell you. Let me give you a third one. as though your backside isn't chapped already. Kelly, husbands need to feel special and important. And this new business venture that you have, you're super excited about, aren't you? You're so excited you're dreaming about it at night. You're so excited about you talking about it all the time, aren't you? And when you make a sale, you're like, yeah, right? It's almost as good as sex, right?
I wouldn't go that far.
Well, at least you got a good sex life. So here's what happens. He's feeling neglected. He's feeling replaced. He's feeling displaced. So are you as excited about your husband as you were when you were dating him, trying to lasso him into your arms? Are you giving him the appropriate attention that he needs? You remember when he could do no wrong? Do you remember that? He could do no wrong. He never came up with a bad idea. He never said anything stupid. In fact, breathing was wonderful to hear him do. So part of the reason why husbands are not supportive is because they ain't getting sex anymore. They ain't getting the meals anymore. They ain't getting the loving, the encouragement, the starry eyes with your Bambi eyelashes waving at him. The smiles aren't happening as much. But now you'll give all of that to a new business or new people, new friends. So, one way to fix this, honey, number one, look in the mirror. Are you supporting him and all of his ventures? Are you excited for him? You standing by him? That's the way to get it back from him. Second, don't expect him to be as excited about something as you are. God gave it to you. It's yours. No one else is going to believe in it as much as you do. And three, go love this guy. Go encourage him. Go grab him in a way he likes to be grabbed. Go make him his favorite meal. Bring him his favorite drink. And treat him as your highest, number one human priority. Second only to God, who's not human. You go do those things, baby, you're gonna fix this deal. And you'll find that he is your number one supporter. This is Dani Johnson. I know, Kelly, I'm sorry. That was a mouthful. All from personal experience. Gotta tell you, it really works. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue taking more of your calls right after this.
No contrite cliches. No bull. Just a real focus on life.
The Dani Johnson Show.
What she says comes straight from the heart. You can't make this stuff up. The Dani Johnson Show.
Hi, I'm Dani Johnson. The most common question I get usually are from people who are trying to juggle their life. They've got kids who are involved in all kinds of activities. They've got business or their job, finances, trying to get out of debt, plus all their church activities and all the volunteer activities. And they're pulling their hair out going, how do I juggle this all? Man, I once lived just like that until I learned Time Secrets. Time Secrets showed me how to be able to cut my hours from 100 hours a week that I was working down to 20 hours a week and tripled my income as a direct result with what I learned. Time Secrets also showed me how to get my priorities in order, which healed up my marriage. And I became a mother that I was proud of versus becoming the mother I didn't want to be. And so if you feel like your world is running around in all kinds of different circles, you can fix that. Call 888-757-8880. Again, 888-757-8880 for Time Secrets.
We're back. Here's Dani Johnson.
Dani Johnson, nothing ever goes right for me. I start to believe in something great and then out of nowhere, it just doesn't happen. I started a business and it didn't work. I went for that dream job and it didn't happen. Those very words, and including this phrase, it must not have been meant to be. That is all the voice of a lottery poverty spirit. Someone hoping to get lucky. Someone hoping things turn out instead of taking the appropriate steps to make it work. Taking your call, 844-200-3264. Again, that's 844-200-3264. We are talking about the lottery lies that we have bought. There's a lottery mentality in marriage and parenting, with our health, our business, our career, our finances. Oh gosh, our church life has been infiltrated with the lottery mentality. Just pray, and everything's gonna work out just fine. I'm so sorry if you are praying and not working, everything is not gonna work out fine. It brings me to this place. There's two farmers. They buy a plot of land. One comes over to his land, and he is one of them Pentecostal, charismatic, hallelujah, holy rolling Christians, hallelujah. And then there's the other guy. He's a total heathen. He doesn't believe in God, but he understands farming. The hallelujah holy roller decides to have a church meeting over his land. And he goes and he dances and he praises and he worships and yes, hallelujah, God, I can't wait for the corn that you're going to bring me in Jesus' name. And he's dancing and he's shouting and he's laughing and he's having a great time. And then he leaves his land. The heathen, I know somebody's going to get mad about the fact that I called it a heathen. The heathen, he shows up his land and he buys the best possible seed corn that he can find. And he plants it. He waters it. He nurtures it. He protects it. Who reaps the harvest? Who reaps the harvest? Come on now. That's what I'm telling you. If you pray and you don't back your prayers with work, you won't get results. If you're not all in with your prayer, you can forget it. You ain't gonna see squat. Because the other guy understands what it takes to succeed. So what happens if you combine both prayer and work? Now this is where you got something really special. This is where you have, and I gotta tell you, I've seen it again and again. How? I work 20 hours a week. We've made millions of dollars for 2 decades. And for 18 and a half of those years, I've worked 20 hours a week. How is that possible? Because that's when you do pray and you do work with excellence and diligence and you're bringing skill and value into the marketplace. That is when now the divine nature of our God comes on our pathetic nature and skill. And he just breathes on it and he makes his multiplication come into play. He now grows it faster, bigger. This is where you get bumper crops. This is where you get more than what you were bargaining for, more than what you were expecting. This is where talented people come into your life that are far better than you. They can get the job done faster and better than you. They actually bring new concepts and ideas and expertise in places you don't have it. That's what happens when you combine prayer with work. You put them together versus just praying and not working or not praying and just working. Put two together. Now you got the God factor. I talk about that in First Steps to Wealth, by the way. It's the last chapter of the book. It's called The God Factor and how he makes it happen. It's amazing. All right, so what lie have you bought? What lottery mentality has infiltrated your life? How are you going to fix it? Denise, North Carolina, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dani. My failed fantasy was that of higher education, leading to higher pay. But instead, it's rewarded me with drowning student loan debt, many American dreams deferred, and opportunities for financial independence, for financial freedom, denied through the many job rejections. So my question to you is, what steps do I need to take in order to build my own new American dream that works for me instead of against me?
Yeah. Man, Denise, I love the way you talk. It rewarded me with suffering. And it's true, right? And that was a lie that's been sold to us, right? The American dream. Yeah. Do good in school, get an education, go to university, graduate, and then you're going to get a great high-paying job. It was a lie. It still is a lie. For some, maybe it works out, but generally it is not. It is not the way to success. But what was it a way for? It was a way for the government and for universities, private universities and public, to make a lot of stinking money. Gosh. Denise, think about it. Where else can you go and you can sell a lie and get away with it? Wow. Amazing that they can sell a high level of education all under the pretenses that we're going to get a better job or to have a better life and never have to deliver on it. So that's where you find yourself. Okay, so Denise, I got to tell you what kind of came to my spirit as you were talking. Take a deep breath and hear me. It's time to let go. It's time to let go of the pain. It's time to let go of the regret. I can almost hear it in my head that you have said, I can't believe I bought that. I'm so upset. Why didn't I see another path? Why did I go to college? Why do I have all this debt? And now my hopes are totally deferred. This isn't the life that I wanted. How in the world did I make this mistake? Denise, you gotta let go. You gotta let go. You were young. You were impressionable. You followed in the footsteps of the majority of the people, thinking with the right intentions that it would take you to where you wanted to go faster. You found the truth. It didn't work. So now you have to look and say, okay, what can I pull from that education that I can profit from? How will I pay off this debt? And what plan will I use to do it in the next 5 to 7 years? Because there is a plan for you to pay off all of your debt, including your student loans, in the next 5 to 7 years. That plan is called War on Debt. It can be done. I just was in Long Beach with a woman who had over $100,000 in student loans. They have paid off $900,000 worth of debt in the last 2 years. In 2 years, they are now completely debt-free. Isn't that crazy? Completely debt-free. So you got to look at, all right, here's my problem. How do I fix it? And what can I pull from this education that I will profit from? Is it, well, I don't know what you studied, but find a way to market it. Find a way to use it. But you can't find a new solution if you're still holding on to the regret of your past. You cannot. Let go of it. This is where I'm starting fresh. I got a debt plan and I've got a job plan. You got to work those plans with no regrets. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this. But I'm so blessed that I found what is in Grooming the Next Generation for Success. This is a book that is being taught in universities around the world. It's been noted as the best book on parenting that has ever been written. Crazy, if you ask me. But the point is that this thing gets results. Get your copy today, 888-757-8880. Again, that's 888-757-8880. Or go to DaniJohnson.com. That's D-A-N-I Johnson.com. Get your copy today.
If you like being depressed, enjoy having no drive in your life to improve, want to be lazy, love being an underachiever, then this show is not for you. Get off your loser attitude and stay tuned to the Dani Johnson Show. The Dani Johnson Show. Dani Johnson Show.
I know, life can be filled with a lot of regrets. It kind of reminds me of Denise from North Carolina, who called in towards the end of the first hour of the Dani Johnson Show. And, she says that going to college, I regret it. I ended up with a lot of debt. I ended up with my hopes deferred. I ended up with financial independence that might not ever happen because now I'm carrying this debt. We all have regrets in life, and here's a great way to turn your regrets into awesome profits. How? By learning from that experience. Cut your losses and move on and put in a plan so that you can fix it. Sometimes we like to just meddle over something we cannot fix. We're not going to get out of the student loans. You know that if you declare bankruptcy, you still have to pay your student loans. Wow, what a scam is that? Oh my gosh. Really? I can't believe that somebody isn't arguing that one, right? So wait a second. So let's say that somebody goes into so much debt and they owe all these other businesses a tremendous amount of money, not to mention the house that they bought, and now they owe the bank a tremendous amount of money. They declare bankruptcy, but they still have to pay their student loans? Wow. Wow. What kind of sense does that make? Really? You still have to pay your student loans? Why? Who has backed the student loans? The government. And they're saying, we're going to get our money. We don't care if you, Mr. Citizen, that gave somebody a credit card that you're a private lender and you lost money. We don't care that you, Mr. Business, that someone declared bankruptcy and now you don't get your money, but we're going to get our money. Such a scam. Anyway, we're not talking about that today. We're talking about Denise, though. And what I'm telling Denise is you got to let go. You got to let go. It is impossible to move forward if you're looking backwards. You got to sit down with a piece of paper and go, okay, what 3 things do I need to learn so I can do better next time? What can I do next time? Well, number one, if Denise regrets going to college and that was a waste, that's the lie she bought, that going to college is going to get her a better job, and she found that to be totally not true. She can't even get a job, let alone pay for the student loans that she has. But watch this. What can you learn from this, Denise? What you can learn is, I will not just go the way of the masses again. And I will not just take face value that I'm going to do what everybody else is doing. And what is everybody else doing? Everybody else is buying into the lie. Gosh, especially in Texas, of go to school, get a good education. Now you got to go pay for a whole lot of money for some more education that you might not ever use. Wow. not even looking at the math, not even crunching out the numbers, not even seeing what the actual results or even looking at, wait, what professions have a higher percentage chance of getting a job out of college, right? So I'm sure there's something you can look back at the college experience and say, what could I have done differently and what will I do with that information moving forward? So, but number one, don't just follow the masses. You got to go in the opposite direction of what other people are telling you to do. Sometimes you got to look at their results before you take their advice. Number two, all right, now we can't get a job. Well, there's probably a good chance that you are following the same traditional paths that people have followed to try to get a job, which means that everyone's got the same resume, everyone has the same kind of cover letter, everybody has the same approach in the interview. Okay, well, you got 1,000 people all with the same approach looking for the same job. How in the world, Denise, are you going to stand out of the crowd? You ain't going to stand out of the crowd. You're going to look like the other 1,000 people that are there, which is frustrating for the people that have the job interview. It's really frustrating to them that they cannot find a candidate that stands out different than everybody else. And it isn't the college experience. Oftentimes, it isn't even the job experience. It is the presentation in which we are giving right then and there. So write this down. We've had thousands of our clients land crazy, amazing jobs using job domination. Don't be like the masses and try to get a job like everybody else is doing. You got to have a totally unique and different approach so that you are noticed, that you are seen different, and that they see that you are the right candidate. And that's a whole different presentation style. That's a whole different way you present your resume and the cover letter. Job domination. Go to DaniJohnson.com, get a hold of Job Domination. And by the way, as you purchase that, you can watch it right now and know that you fed an orphan because you made the purchase. I don't make money from Job Domination. Every time you make a purchase on DaniJohnson.com, that now is going to feed orphans, feeding the widows, taking care of the sick. Okay, so and number three is War on Debt. Now, I don't know if you've gotten a hold of the free book, but let me give this to you. It's First Steps to Wealth. There's 2 chapters in here on how to annihilate that student loan as well as all the rest of your debt in the next 5 to 7 years. Okay, there's 2 whole chapters on it. So it's First Steps to Wealth. Dial 866-760-8255. Again, that's 866-760-8255. In fact, I want you to ask for Nate. Nate is a precious young man. His birthday is coming up soon. Nate Puchek is his name. Ask for Nate. Tell him you just talked to me, and he will take care of you. He's going to get you a copy of First Steps to Wealth. He'll get you an ebook, a copy of it right now, so it's going to get straight to your email box. But if you want the physical copy, you pay Denise for the physical copy's shipping, and we'll pay for the book, all right? So Nate will get you set up. He'll get you set up on Job Domination. And in the next 10 minutes, you're going to be listening and learning live on how to formulate that interview and that cover letter, that resume, to position yourself in a totally different way and how to close the deal on the next interview you get, as well as how to get several people offering you jobs. So in 10 minutes, you'll have all that done. You'll begin learning. And you're going to call me in 3 days and you're going to say, it worked. Now I've got these 3 job offers. What do I do next? That's what's going to come up next, okay? So 866-760-8255. Ask for Nate and pat yourself on the back. You're feeding an orphan as you make this next step. Okay, so what lie did you buy, right? Because there's a whole lot of them out there. There is the lottery lie of marry the right person, you buy a lottery ticket for it to be your retirement plan. Is it working? Or what is the solution you're looking for? This is Dani Johnson, Eric from Palm Springs, California. I bet it's really hot over there right now. Yes. Eric, what lie did you buy?
Well, growing up, I grew up in a household that really just the idea was to rip people off and to get what you wanted. So the lie that I bought was that I was entitled to something and that I could just do anything within my power to get what I wanted.
Wow.
And that bled into my adult life and has caused a lot of issues, honestly. And even in my marriage and all my relationships, I learned manipulation and just all sorts of inappropriate behaviors that have. I've been investing, thousands and thousands of dollars into my re-education to reform my mindset into one that is about other people first.
Yeah.
And
so, Eric, when you say that you were taught to rip people off, I mean, was this kind of a, well, let's say this, parents go into the grocery store and they taste a grape. This is stealing, right? The kid is watching. This is stealing. This is not tasting the grape. We are stealing a fruit from the producer. So is that the kind of thing that you were saying? Or are you saying that, like, they literally said, rip people off?
Yeah, no, there would be, I would see, there would be stuff in the bottom of the basket that I would point out. And then there would be the scowls of frustration. How dare you point that out? That was, a secret, So that was when I was younger. I would remember calling them out on it. But then I kind of just grew to accept that was the way my family did things. My mother, taught that, I had credit cards at 18 years old. She took checks from closed checking accounts, wrote them to pay the bill, so they cleared all the way, so they were all paid off. And then I would go and we would remax them out again. That was one of the scams. And then there was more scams of like, let's max out all the credit cards and then declare bankruptcy and then wipe the slate clean. Like purposely going on shopping sprees at Best Buy and maxing out the Best Buy credit card. Things like that. Like, that's what I was taught growing up.
Wow, right? So then now we become an adult, and this is what's in us. And I love what you said. You called it entitlement, and that's what it is. It's straight up entitlement. Someone owes me. I shouldn't have to work for something. Somebody owes me. And that is a challenge to break. And it's amazing how many places it infiltrates. I got to tell you a place where I found it recently. This is a terrible confession, but I have to make it. I'm reading a book that's rocking my world right now. I've mentioned it several times here on the show, and it's Dr. Laura. It's one of her books, and it's The Proper Care and Feeding of Husbands. And I can't seem to get through a page without crying or seeing like, oh gosh, how did I miss that? But this place of entitlement that I read this in this story, and I really identified with this woman who was complaining. And, it's awful. That the marriage doesn't have the pizzazz anymore, and he doesn't buy her flowers anymore, and he doesn't do this anymore. And Dr. Laura just cold-cocked this woman. I could hear the bat, and I could see the slow motion with her spit moving from her mouth. Do you know what I'm saying? And it was, really? So tell me, what do you do for him that is special? What kind of special treatment are you giving him that you used to give him when you were dating that you no longer give him? And I was like, and again, that's not the same complaint, that I have today in my marriage. But the point was how easy it is for us to expect to receive something for nothing. Because if we're not giving what we're wanting to get, then that means we're entitled. Why? If he's not buying me flowers, then why should I give him sex? No. Wait a second. If you want flowers, then you should be, hello, where's your smile? Where's your sweet, encouraging words? Where's the attention that you're giving him? Where's the favorite meal? Oh, man, it just smacked me. I thought, gosh, man, I really need to look at myself and look in the mirror where entitlement has infiltrated my life, where I have an expectation that somebody should treat me a certain way, even if I'm not treating them the way I want to be treated. Yikes! But entitlement's sneaky. It really is. It's a very, very sneaky thing. And I got to tell you, Eric, I'm really proud of you that you are investing in re-educating yourself and relearning and learning to have a focus on others and giving versus trying to get for nothing. I'm really proud of you for being that kind of a man. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more after this.
You are listening to The Dani Johnson Show. Stay tuned for more of Dani Johnson in just a moment.
I just heard this amazing story. One of our clients had written us telling us that they had used job domination and unlimited success and has absolutely exploded their career. He said, Dani, I don't know where I'd be today without job domination and unlimited success. Listen, do you want more recognition from your coworkers? Do you want to be recommended to people all over the world? Do you want to be somebody that is highly sought after? Listen, if you're in a dead-end place where this gentleman found himself, but then learned new strategies and changed everything in his work life, and obviously this has resulted in higher bonuses and pay raises, you're next. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of Job Domination right now. 888-757-8880. Again, 888-757-8880. Job domination. That's what you need. It's time for you to dominate the job market and break through the rut that you're in.
Helping you get a grip on your priorities and your focus.
The Dani Johnson Show. Here's Dani Johnson.
You know, it's interesting. I think parents don't really realize the example that they're setting for their kids and how it's going to hurt them in the future. We just finished listening to Eric from Palm Springs, California, sharing some of the examples that his parents set for him that then has haunted him in his adult life. But I got to tell you, we cannot blame what the example was our parents set for us and where they fell short. Because right at this very minute, you and I are falling short. We are absolutely falling short. But what I really respect about Eric is that he recognizes it versus living in it. You know, I got to tell you a funny story. My grandmother and my uncle, they were a people who felt entitled. They go into a restaurant and they would buy whatever they would buy and they would steal the silverware. They would steal, in my grandmother's kitchen, her silverware drawer, nothing matched. It was not a complete set of anything because she literally would take the silverware. And I remember being at a restaurant with them and them saying, well, for the price that we're paying for this steak, it's just too expensive. Oh, we're going to take the silverware. Oh my gosh. Really? Mind you, these are the same people that frauded an insurance company by driving a car off a cliff and, collecting insurance on it, trying to lie about how that happened. And they eventually got caught. But my point is that our parents do things, however, or our grandparents or our uncles, in my case, that we have to choose to use wisdom to not follow in those footsteps. We know what's right and wrong, don't we? We do. We know what's right and wrong. So that lie of, steal or somebody owes me something, we don't have to take that and give it to our kids. And that's what I really appreciate about Eric, is that he's saying, I am investing in myself to learn how to serve, to live differently, to treat my wife different, my kids different, my career different. I don't want to be what I was trained to be. I want to be a new man. And that's essentially what Eric's saying. And I really respect that, and I admire that. And I think all of us need to do that. We really do. And if we're really honest with ourselves, we'll find places where we're entitled. We'll find places where we've stolen a grape, calling it a taste, and our kids were watching. Things that we're trying to get away from. Somebody gave us too much change back, and boy, there is that temptation to just keep walking and go, yeah, thank you, Lord. I don't think it was the Lord. No. It is the Lord saying, bring the $20 back. That would be the Lord saying that, right? Bring it back. I recently had somebody that didn't charge me enough for something, and, she sends the picture of the bill, and it's a sweet little thing in Hawaii, and sure enough, she forgot to charge me for something. And there I am. I'm looking at the receipt. I know what I received. I'm looking at the receipt. Oh, yeah. Actually, there were two things that she didn't charge me for. And, so there was that moment. What am I going to do? No one's going to know, right? No one's going to know. Isn't that the thing that goes in our head? No one's going to know. You're not going to be found out. It's okay. Call it a gift. It's a blessing. No. So, of course, I texted her and said, hey, Lauren, I noticed when I went through the itemized bill that you forgot 2 items. Please charge me the extra $110. Next test. Oh, Dani, thank you so much for being honest. I could have gotten myself in big trouble. $110 was a lot of money that she was accidentally not charging me for. Got it? Yeah. So it's important that we know for our own conscience. Because when we make a little fudge on something like that, we believe that lie that no one's going to know. That somehow, oh, maybe we deserve this. Maybe the gods moved the heavens and the earth and we deserve this now. We all know, friend, there is no something for nothing. Your grandma taught you there's no free lunch. Anything worth having, achieving, is worth working for. You know that, right? Yeah, you do. Man, if we put that on every day as we treat our spouses, as we're going to have dinner tonight with our spouses, instead of expecting to get without giving, we want to get respect from our kids. We got to give respect to our kids. We got to give respect to our coworkers and our boss if we're expecting to get it. Title means nothing. What matters at the end of the day is, am I giving, am I serving in the way that I should be? Sucks, doesn't it? Hey, maybe when you get your own planet, which I don't think they're selling any of them right now, but if you get your own planet, then you can change the rules to be whatever you want them to be. But currently under this Earth system that we're in, we reap what we sow. That's the bottom line. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
Don't just stand there. Soak this up. It's joy, it's encouragement, it's insight to a better life and how to meet your obligations and overcome obstacles.
The Dani Johnson Show.
This is the Dani Johnson Show.
For families in Santa Pancha, Nicaragua, life is filled with fear and struggle. They don't have enough food for their kids, clean water is hard to find, and they're living in a decrepit, unsafe hovel on top of mining tunnels that could explode and sink at any moment. But a miracle is in the making, and you can be a part of transforming this village. Go to kingsransom.org and click on Santa Pancha to see how you can help. That's kingsransom.org, kingsransom.org, and click on Santa Pancha.
Did you know you can see Dani Johnson live and in person? Go to DaniJohnson.com and find out about our next live event. First steps to success, register today. Call 866-760-8255 or go to DaniJohnson.com/FSTS.
Improving the quality of your life. The Dani Johnson Show.
I love it.
I would love to sit Disney down. Wait a minute, he's dead. But there's still people writing scripts for those movies. I was just like you. I bought into the whole, wish upon a star, the glass slipper, go to sleep, wake up, and you're in Prince Charming's arms. I bought into all that nonsense just like you did. And it's no small wonder why we have these crazy expectations on our marriages, right? Yeah, we do. We have crazy expectations. They're written in the back of our head. They're not like right in the forward part, but it's in the mainframe, in the back of our minds, that we are supposed to get lucky by marrying the right person. That's a lie. You have to become the right person in order to have the right marriage. And I have to tell you something. From time to time, I have not been the right person. Like, at all have I not been the right person. And have really made some big mistakes, and I have suffered the consequences for the mistakes that I've made. And I will continue. If I don't learn, then I'm going to continue to have that spanking again. But what kind of lie have you bought? What fantasy have you been sold? Because he who chases fantasies has poverty waiting for him. And I don't want to see you suffer in poverty. And I'm not just talking about money. I'm talking about poverty of marriage. Gosh, there's nothing worse than an impoverished marriage. I'm not talking about finances. I'm talking about the lack of intimacy. I'm talking about the lack of relationship. I'm talking about the crazy, huge presence of demons in the person you're married to. Certainly not in you. So sorry, I had to. Anyway, Joel from Indianapolis, what kind of a lie did you buy? What fantasy did you chase?
Well, I bought the lie with marriage. I bought two lies. First, the lie of that it was a fairy tale. Mm-hmm. That when you're in a relationship, it's magically supposed to just be amazing, and that, if anything happens, it's just not meant to be. Yeah. And that was really not the truth. Going through failed relationships after failed relationships, that's what I came to realize was that, no, it's not easy. And that it does take work and that it's not going to be, flowers and unicorns all the time. It's actually, it's going to take work. You're going to get in an argument.
Yeah.
And the second was that, I remember I'm about to get married November 8th, and, every time I tell some people this, especially guys, they're just like, I'm sorry. And I'm thinking, why are you sorry? Now, that lie of being single, like now being married is going to be miserable is now, what I've been told. And it's just, those lies are always, coming at me from every direction. And those are the lies I was told.
Wow. Gosh, isn't that a trip? That you've dealt with it on both sides. So on the one side, I love it. Every day is not going to be fairy tales and unicorns or whatever. That was awesome. Like, guys believed in unicorns too? I'm kidding. But we did, right? We bought it. And the reality is, and here's, you know what is so sad? Is that we have largely become a people, Joel, that doesn't want to face the truth. We've largely become that kind of a people that it's going to take work, and we're going to have days where we almost might even hate each other. And it has anything to do with necessarily the other person as much as it has to do with our own pain and our own crap from our own past, our own mistakes that we've made or mistakes that other people made, and it impacted our lives. So at the end of the day, what really creates that wonderful fairy tale marriage and relationship is suffering through hard times. Having to mature and choosing not to argue and pick apart somebody and try to change them, but to lovingly accept them and not forget why we do love them. So to speak to the guys that are telling you that you're getting married November 8th, I say congratulations, welcome aboard. Aboard this ship of marriage that very few decide to embark on these days. And number two, that very few are truly committed to. Those guys are standing on the sidelines. Come on, Joel, you know the deal. Are they happy? Are they happy laying with this chick and that chick and having no intimacy? Not having somebody to share their life with? We'll see where they're at when they're 55 and alone and sagging everywhere. We'll see at the end of that conversation what they're saying. Oh, gosh, I'm alone. All I have left is my beer drinking, barbecue chicken eating friends who play video games all day. This life sucks. And there you will be because you are making the commitment to make it work. You're making the commitment to learn. You'll be there off in the Mediterranean somewhere with your beautiful wife, loving on each other, still chasing each other around the house naked. And you'll not have the diseases that go along with that other lifestyle that your friends are saying, I'm so sorry you're walking away from. You know what I'm talking about. I much rather die broke and happy having lots of sex with my husband than to be single and rich and miserable and lonely, by far. So congratulations. Send us pictures, please. I want to see this beautiful bride you will be embracing. And you make a commitment, dude. It's going to take work. And I'm glad you have the maturity to know that. And it's going to take counseling. If you have failed in relationships before, submit yourself to counseling and you will have a coach that will help you to succeed through the challenges that you're going to walk through. So, and it's worth it. It's totally worth it. I can honestly say that right now, today. I can say that today. Anyway, God bless you, man. Thanks so much for the call. I appreciate your input greatly. Okay, we've got Diana from Dallas, Texas. So what lie, baby, did you buy?
Hi, Danny. Great to talk to you. I called in because early in my life and my career, I bought the lie that corporate America was the only way to go. Mm-hmm. And as a quick background, I did spend 27 years in corporate America, and I retired, and I finally was brave enough to start a small entrepreneur business. And that really opened my eyes up to the lies. And I felt that there were people maybe with this topic on your show that needed to hear some of the truth. So I wanted to throw some of the lies out there I believed and get you to comment on them. But from the corporate America side, number one, I was told it was going to be only 40 hours a week job. I was told work hard and you're going to get promoted. I was told they're going to take care of you for life. I was told you'll be able to retire on your pension or your 401k. And the last thing I told is that this corporate America is a safe path to take because you'll always be taken care of, and it's safe and it's risk-free. And I will tell you that in my experience, by the way, I was in HR in corporate America, so I have a little bit of an.
Oh, but hold on a second, Diana. So not only did you hear the lies from somebody else, you actually gave the lies to other people being in HR.
Well,
I love it.
Yes, and that's when I retired. I ended up being a high-level executive staffing manager, and I was recruiting people into those lies, and I couldn't live with myself anymore, and I walked away.
Wow. So tell me, let's go through the list. Okay, so was it in corporate America only 40 hours a week?
Absolutely not. They only pay you for 40 hours a week, but that's not all that you work.
Yeah.
And with the pressure on corporate America to save money, cost ratio to employee, their strategy is to get each employee to work as much as they can over that. And the salaried employees are great because they don't have to pay them overtime.
Wow.
So 40 hours a week is an unrealistic expectation. That is not true.
Yeah. Okay, so that they would take care of you for the rest of your life, that your pension and your 401k, you would just be set up.
Yeah, those are not true either. As often companies right now are under pressure to cut costs, so they will have staff reductions, and the people that they look at are the people making the most money. Mm-hmm. So I was around a corporation where sometimes people were 1 year, 2 years, 3 years out from their retirement age, and they got cut because of their cost. And then in recruiting, they would tell us behind the scenes, get ready to hire 40 more people. We need them in similar jobs, but at a lower cost.
Yep. Okay, let me give some answers to this. Okay, let's speak into this because I want to bring another perspective. And by the way, I'm so grateful for you, Diana. Thank you so much for sharing what you just shared. All right, so let's look at this. So what does someone do, right? Because there's somebody that's listening in their car right now, and they're like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, no. We just caused someone to run off the road. But get back on the road, and let's talk about this. So the fantasy that has been sold, the lie that has been sold, and then there is the reality. So what must we do? How do we fix this? Well, we're certainly not going to change the corporation. We're not going to change the people who are running it. We're not going to do any of those things. But there is something that you could have in place where you can get the benefits of what you want. We got to cut over to a short break. Diana, I want you to stay here with me because I want to address each one of these, right? So there's 40 hours a week, there's the overtime, there's the pension and 401k, and of course the job security. And this is what is being sold, but there is the reality of what you experienced personally. But how can somebody not make the mistake of believing all of that? This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
Hey, have you done a favor for your best friend yet? Then do it now. Share this program with them. The Dani Johnson Show, helping hundreds of thousands of people just like you make life more enjoyable and rewarding. The Dani Johnson Show.
You want to succeed, right? But you do not want to fail God at the same time. There is a way to succeed from a biblical perspective, and it's far greater than anything you could ever imagine. Over 500 scriptures I studied to study money, everything that the Bible said about money. That's in the first couple chapters of Spirit-Driven Success. Not to mention leadership, working with people, growing a career, being used mightily in the marketplace, which is where Abraham, God used him in the marketplace. And Joseph, God used him in the marketplace. Moses, God used him in the marketplace. Daniel, Solomon, really all of the greats of faith, most of the greats of faith throughout the Bible, they all were in the marketplace, and God wants to show you how you can be used mightily by him in the marketplace. Right here, Spirit-Driven Success is where all of my notes are on how you can do that. 888-757-8880. Again, 888-757-8880. Get your copy of Spirit-Driven Success today.
We're back. Here's Dani Johnson.
All right, so Diana, she said she bought the corporate lie. They said it would only be 40 hours a week. They said that they would take care of her for the rest of her life, that it was a good, safe path to go. She, after 27 years, says, I can't do this anymore. This is nothing but a lie. and she's ventured out to become an entrepreneur herself. So, but I want to speak to, again, Diane, what I was saying before we cut over to that break was, you know, the guy that just drove off the side of the road going, what? I don't really, is that really how it goes? Here's the reality. Okay, work hard and get promoted. Well, the sad thing is, you know, because that was one of the things that you said, work hard and get promoted. They don't tell you how to work. They don't, working hard, we've all heard, doesn't necessarily get us to where we want to go. We can get there, but working smart is more advantageous and is going to result into that promotion or that job. And we talk about that in job domination, actually. Really finding where the great need is inside of that corporation and bringing value to that place is what's going to get you promoted. Not working hard or harder, but really finding the need and the place where you can bring the greatest value. The other thing was 40 hours, right? And working more than 40 hours. You know what's funny about that is that I forbid my people to go beyond their 40 hours. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I believe in rest. I believe in efficiency. And I believe in our team having a life. I want them to enjoy their time with their wife and their kids. We have a lot of men that are on our staff. And I think almost all of them have children. And some of them a lot of kids. And the women, for some reason, most of them are single. But we have a couple that are married and no kids, or one single mom that has kids. But my point is that you're right, they're looking out for their own best interest, but it's not only their own best interest, because if they don't keep the business healthy, the business doesn't survive. And if the business is not profitable, there is no jobs for anybody. And I'm not saying that all corporations have that heart. In most cases, it's a greedy heart of more for us, less for them. And it's sad and it's unfortunate. But what does the person do that's in that situation of needing to work more than 40 hours? That's conversations that have to happen with the people who are saying, I need 60 hours from you. That's a sit down and say, I got some boundaries, and I would like for you to trust that I can get the work done, and this is the work I can do. This is the timeline that I can get it done, and I won't be able to do it beyond that. And so if we need to make an adjustment here, let's make the adjustment. But I really love what I'm doing, and I really would like to serve you in the best way that I can, and I would like to work on these specific areas so I can get this done in a timely fashion. Those are conversations. Again, these are things we talk about in job domination. 401k and pension, anyone who buys into that is not smart. It's such a lie. And again, you know what, Diana, what it is? We all want to believe a fantasy. That's the reality. We all want to believe a fantasy. We all want to believe that somehow somebody is going to take care of us. But there is only one that will take care of us, and it isn't corporate America. The one that's going to take care of us is our God, our provider. And as long as we honor him, as long as we work with excellence and diligence as unto him, he's going to take care of us. And so is it wise to put money away for the future? Sure it is. Absolutely, it's wise. Unfortunately, most people don't. Why? Because they're counting on somebody else taking care of them in the future. So, Diana, I'm really happy that you have you pulled out of the corporate America after 27 years, and you have become an entrepreneur. Now you go build your dream. You take everything that you've learned over the last 27 years of being a professional recruiter, and you go recruit some great talent for your own company. You go recruit some great business for your own company. And the things that you've seen that worked, use it. The things that you saw that were not good, change it. And create something great for yourself until the last breath of your life is taken. I bless you in that business. I'm excited for you. I'm really, really excited for you. Thanks so much for the call. I appreciate all the input. All right, so we're talking about the lies in which we have bought. We got Johnny from Los Angeles. What lie did you buy, Johnny?
Hi, Dani. I actually bought into several lies, but the biggest one had to do with finances. Mm-hmm. I bought into the whole lottery mentality. Goes back almost 2 decades. It started with my first mortgage. I used my mortgage or my house as a ATM machine, and I would refinance it. Yeah, it was during the housing boom, and equity, kept going up, and I would take refinance loans. So it got to the point where I went from a $209,000 mortgage to about $759,000. So we ended up losing that.
Johnny! Wow.
Yeah,
hold on. Pause. I got to ask you a question.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did it ever occur to you when you were doing this, did you actually think in your mind that, well, hey, the banks are giving it to me, so this must be a good idea?
Yes, totally.
Isn't that amazing?
It was amazing how fast and how easy it was to refinance. And looking back on it, absolutely. I'm like, it's free money, and eventually I'll pay it back. It's just an extra few $100s, I'll make it up somehow. Because every time that I refinance, I would pay off credit cards, and I would pay off 401k loans and 457 loans because I would borrow against that too. And I paid all off, and then I would find myself back in that situation a year or 2 years later. And so I went through that vicious cycle for almost 7 years.
Wow.
We ended up losing the house. With a couple of other factors that went into that, but primarily it was a spirit of greed that I was operating under,
yes.
And that was almost 7 years ago, and now, and so after that, I bought into there's got to be an easy way to go around this. So I went into debt settlement. I was always seeking a way, even borrowing, taking like payday loans or even high-risk loans where they don't really care how bad your credit is, but the interest rates are so high that you want to cry every time you go to bed. So I went, you really do. I'm like, wow, I'm really paying almost 40% on interest on this stupid loan. So, it didn't really stop. I just always found, a way to make it work, thinking in my mind that eventually I'll pay it off. But it wasn't until I went to my first Steps event in January here in Los Angeles this year. I walked in there still with the same mindset, Dani, teach me how to pay off my debt quickly and teach me how to get rich so that I can maintain my lifestyle. And I walked out of those doors totally convicted. I mean, you kicked my butt from LA to Timbuktu and back. So I was like, so I have to do this. There is a way to do it, but it's not quick. It's not easy. It takes a lot of diligence and commitment. So, so I ended up doing it. I went through your War on Debt program, and in 7 months, I've paid off about $25,000. Yes. It's crazy. I mean, I've made some blunders. Don't get me wrong. Because I'm still trying.
Dude, you had 7 years of some serious habits there, man. Give me a break. That's not going to be dealt with over freaking night. It's going to take some major persistence and commitment and follow through. Johnny, I'm so proud of you. And look at you. It's like you're free, meaning that you are so transparent and so humble that you could share the reality of the stupidity, the mindset, the chasing the fantasy, and just go, I was an idiot. And now you can see. It's like, the scales have fallen off your eyes, and you have a clear path, and you're working it. And I loved, when I heard you say these words, it really hit me. It's going to take commitment. It's not going to be easy, and it's going to take persistence. That's what it takes to succeed in anything. You're on the right path, Johnny. Thanks so much for joining us today. This is Dani Johnson. We'll talk to you tomorrow with another hard-hitting topic that's going to change your life.
We want to thank you for listening to The Dani Johnson Show. We hope you found inspiration, answers, and hope to renew your happiness in life. Join us again on the next Dani Johnson Show.
Hi, welcome to the Dani Johnson YouTube channel. We're super excited to have you here. And every single week, we're going to make sure that you get awesome videos for your business, career, making more money, saving money, annihilating your debt, as well as helping you to handle those really tough problems that you have with people at home, as well as at work, and taking those really good relationships you already have and causing them to flourish and grow. All you have to do is click that subscribe button right down here. Click that and you'll be subscribed to an amazing community of people, as well as some great videos that will help to improve your life. Thanks so much for being here. Subscribe now would be good. Just click it. I know you can see it. It's somewhere down here. Okay, talk to you later. Bye.